rapidly changing environment, a fast-paced world where information is constantly changing. We rely on governments and institutions put in place to ensure the accuracy of the information we receive. But what happens when those governments and institutions lie? On July 20th, 1969, the United States successfully landed Apollo 11 on the moon. Neil Armstrong took those first historic steps, and the American flag was planted to commemorate the occasion. To date, the United States is the only country to have successfully conducted manned missions to the moon, or so we've been told. Flash forward to 2010. The NASA Authorization Act of 2010 was passed by Congress and signed into law. The Authorization Act required a newly designed space launch system and the construction of a beyond low Earth orbit spacecraft. The Orion spacecraft was chosen to fulfill this role. Flash forward to 2017. Leaving low Earth orbit now seems to pose new challenges. According to NASA, getting a manned mission through the Van Allen belts is something they need to figure out and develop new technologies and materials for. We haven't been out of low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit is only between 99 to 1,200 miles away. The Moon is 238,900 miles away. If we can't get out of low Earth orbit now, how did we do it in 1969? How did we get the astronauts through the Van Allen belts without the newly developed heat shield technologies and materials? Listen to these NASA clips and hear some of what they have to say.
We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth, 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Early in the next decade, a set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit. And by 2025, we expect new spacecraft designed for long journeys to allow us to begin the first ever crewed missions beyond the moon into deep space. I want to repeat this. Critical to deep space exploration will be the development of breakthrough propulsion systems and other advanced technologies. So I'm challenging NASA to break through these barriers. And we'll give you the resources to break through these barriers. And I know you will, with ingenuity and intensity, because that's what you've always done.
Orion subsystems and components built around the country are now coming together in the Operations and Checkout Building. This is where reporters were given a chance to see and hear the progress being made on the spacecraft and on the Space Launch System rocket, and ground systems development and operations activities that will help send astronauts to new destinations in the solar system. The spacecraft currently is being readied for the uncrewed Exploration Flight Test 1 next year, a mission that will see the vehicle travel farther into space than any human spacecraft has gone in more than 30 years, and return at high speeds to test the heat shield's performance. They also heard from some of the key leaders who described NASA's progress toward exploring beyond low Earth orbit.
Today, this is a world-class production facility with a flight article, a flight vehicle, Orion, getting ready to fly next year. We've made tremendous progress in our transition to the future.
We are thrilled with this mission. We are looking forward to it. It will be a challenge. It will be complex. But NASA's up to the challenge, and the team that you see represented here is ready and willing to take it on.
This quote from the previous clip is particularly interesting. A mission that will see the vehicle travel farther into space than any human spacecraft has gone in more than 30 years. On its test flight, which took place on December 5, 2014, Orion only reached an altitude of 3,600 miles and speeds of up to 20,000 miles per hour. None of these other spacecraft have ever gone anywhere. Not the Mars rovers, not Cassini, or Juno, or New Horizons. I could go on, but you get the point. No human spacecraft has gone farther than Orion did on that test flight. Nothing has left low Earth orbit. The big lie. A lie so big and so interwoven into the fabric of our lives, it's difficult to see past it to the truth. We've been indoctrinated to believe, our minds entrained to believe from a young age. It starts in school, where we pledge allegiance to the flag and feel good about being patriotic. Young children are then taught about NASA and its wonderful space programs, which of course appeals to their sense of adventure. NASA is then also associated with figures of perceived authority, as well as patriotism. We grow up, finish school, get jobs, start families. Those associations stay with us, deeply embedded in our psyche. We shy away from even questioning if what we've been told is true. To not believe we went to the moon or have a successful space program would mean not believing our elected leaders, not believing those we've placed in charge. It would mean going against everything we've been taught. Not an easy thing to do. So most go on believing the big lie. It requires suspension of disbelief and a bit of cognitive dissonance, but it's less troublesome. Easier than looking for new answers. The truth is starting to come to light though. Hopefully someday we'll all see past the big lie to the truth and begin to build a better future for humanity. As always, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe.